Hey, this is Kat from Red Mountain Shaman, and I share shamanic wisdom through dreams, visions, nature, synchronicities, intuition, channeling, art, music, photography, and shamanic journeys. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about a couple personal experiences that I had this week, as well as some things that I noticed in the news, and a channeled message from the whales, and an oracle card for the collective. So I'm just going to get right into it. And the first thing I noticed this week happening was that Mr. T is trying to create a peace deal in the Middle East, and he actually did. So I have a video, I think it was last year, and it's literally titled Peace in the Middle East, if you want to go back and listen to that. I'm not sure if this peace deal will hold because the leader of the country that starts with I don't think wants peace, and I think he's also got people behind him that are not wanting peace and doing certain things. And so we'll see what happens. But I think eventually we will get peace in the Middle East because Spirit told me that we would have that. I also wanted to just make sure everybody knew that when I'm talking about a certain country or a certain religion or a political party, whatever it may be, I'm talking about like the people at the top who are doing nefarious things. I'm not talking about the people within the religion or the people within the country. It's more of the corruption within it, just to be perfectly clear on that, because someone called me and was upset that I was talking about the country of Ukraine in the way that I was. So that country is just a stronghold of corruption, and has nothing to do with the beautiful people there. I've actually had a past life, and I'm very connected to the Eastern European culture and the Slavic culture, and I love it, and I think that it has a powerful energy there. And I've also talked about the leader of Hungary, and that I feel like Hungary is kind of like a time capsule, and that he's on the good team. So I think there is good players and bad players in this world stage that we're experiencing right now. So another thing that happened this week was Isis. I believe that is another form of Mary Magdalene. And she came through with what felt like a collective message to me, and she showed me candy, and I was like, "Oh, are you eating candy?" And my client was like, "No," and so we kind of like asked her and probed a little bit more about this, and she said she was using it as a metaphor, like candy looks really pretty, it tastes really sweet, it's kind of addictive, it's just a very kind of compelling thing that we want to take. But on the other hand, it has no nutritional value. It rots your teeth, destroys your health. And so I think it was just kind of a metaphor for also like religion. Religion has some good things in it. You've got like a beautiful community a lot of times, and you have some things that are true in religion, and it can feed the soul. The music's really beautiful, but then if there's some really dark, nefarious stuff behind all of that we want to use our discernment. So I think that's last week what Yeshua was talking about, the double-edged sword of religion. It's kind of like the candy. And also I felt like with the candy, she might be saying there might be something that's rolled out that looks really good, but it's actually really detrimental either to our health or our sovereignty. So pay attention for that coming up, and use your discernment. So it was really interesting because about 2 hours after I had that session with that person, there was a channel called Big Daddy, and he came on and he was talking about candy like 2 hours later. And his message that he got was, if you don't take their candy, they'll just burn the candy store down. So we might see like a lot of kind of self-combustion of the dark forces and them trying to destroy things if they can't have their way. So beware of that and steer clear of that kind of energy. Another thing that happened this week was I drew this same card 3 times, and it had this star on it, and it was at night, like this beautiful painting of like, kind of looked like the Star of Bethlehem in a night sky. And then I heard new star. So there's possibly going to be a new star coming in the sky. And then I was just driving around, and all of a sudden I saw like a dancing Christmas tree. And then this Christmas tree was being decorated. And last year I just felt like I was kind of like not in a great headspace. My son wasn't there, and he had just gone away to college. And my family wasn't really around, except for my immediate family, of course. And so I just didn't really do my usual Christmas decor, but they said, you might want to decorate for Christmas this year. And I heard decorate, celebrate, and then I saw a package, and I heard surprise. So maybe there's some positive energy coming in. I feel like Yeshua was really born in the spring. But I've been told like Christmas can still be like a really positive time of year because a lot of people think about Jesus. They think about helping each other. So it has created kind of an egregore, even though that might not be his true birthday. And then another thing that happened this week is I kept hearing Christmas music, and it's not even Halloween. I thought that was kind of weird. Like there was an ice cream truck driving by, and I was at the river walking my dog, and the ice cream truck I noticed was playing Christmas music. I thought that was very strange. And I've heard Christmas music a few other times on the radio. I thought that was really early for Christmas music. And then today we have to get a new stove because our stove broke. So we were at a box store, and there was like this white reindeer, and we had a really funny little clip of our Chihuahua touching noses with this reindeer. So just a lot of Christmas energy this week, which seems really early for that. Sorry, I just hit my cup there. Let's see, what else happened? Oh, okay, so I noticed there was a video, and it was about teachers who are quitting in droves. And in this video, these teachers were kind of explaining why they were quitting. One of them was saying they don't have any sovereignty. They've got a lot of control coming from the upper hands. And then some of them were saying the kids have absolutely no respect. And I think this kind of partially comes from how drugged up the kids are these days, and with all the poison darts and whatnot. And then the poison darts cause things, and then they put more different drugs on top of that, and their brains are not clear. And there's a lot of different reasons, but just pay attention for the educational system. I think a lot more people are going to start homeschooling. And there are forces that want to kind of stop the homeschooling thing, too. They really want the kids there. And I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot of control going on there. And there's like very heavy-handed stuff going on there, a lot of indoctrination. So let's pay attention to that, because we know that, all these corrupt systems that are not sovereign and free and have our consent to what they're doing, these systems are going to be shaken. So watch for the shaking in the educational system. Let's see. Okay, so another thing that came through in 2 sessions this week was the symbol of the Scorpio. And that is actually my energy. I was born in November. And the Scorpio energy, I think, is coming in for the collective. And it may be coming in a little early this year, but it's the energy of death and rebirth. So you may feel things dying in your life, things that you're no longer resonating with, and you deciding to do something that is more in alignment with your energy, and then this energy of rebirth that is coming. Another thing that I saw this week was an interview with Tim Ballard on Julie Green's channel. She's more of like a Christian intuitive. And he was talking about some things, and he mentioned 3 things that I mentioned in the last week or 2. And one was a whirlwind. And the other thing he mentioned in this interview was that we don't need a man with a tie or intermediaries in order to connect with Jesus and God. And he also mentioned that scripture that those who are harming the little ones, it would be better that they had a millstone around their neck and were tossed into the sea. So I talked about all three of those things, and so did he. I thought that was really interesting. And so I want to go back to when his movie came out. It was called The Sound of Freedom. So while I was watching that movie, I remember I saw a lion superimposed over Tim Ballard in the movie. And then also, it's just such a small detail, but I noticed a black cat following him. And so I think he really has that Lion of Judah, or maybe he's a Lyran or Lyran. And that lion energy is within him. And so after I saw that movie, there was just so much stuff like going around about him and about his character, and that he was being accused of misconduct, and all these rumors were swirling around. And while I was watching the movie, I also got a download that he would be instrumental in exposing the Mormon church for something. And I thought, well, that's interesting because he's still a Mormon. So I guess he's been excommunicated. I didn't know that, so I just found that out in his interview with Julie Green. And he said that while he was being excommunicated, the stake president was shaking because he was calling him out that they weren't doing anything in the proper way. I grew up Mormon, so I know that there's different specific protocols when you excommunicate somebody. And I guess his bishop came in and said, I'm going to wash my hands of this because you're not doing this in a proper way with the proper protocols of the church. And he said his stake president, or really his leader of the church, if you don't know what that is, he was shaking, and then the picture of Jesus that was behind him fell off the wall. So I thought that was really interesting. So it makes me wonder, like, what is he getting ready to expose? Because he seems to be resurfacing now all of a sudden. So we'll just have to see what happens with that, but pay attention to that in the next, I don't know, month or so, if he comes out with certain things. And a couple other things that I've been getting, I've mentioned in past videos, was I saw the LDS temple shaking and things falling out of the doors and windows, and I heard secrets exposed. And then I also saw the angel falling off. So that could be a metaphor for the fall of the church, or I'm not sure. We'll just have to see what unfolds with that. So I also wanted to talk about that his energy seems very kind of unhinged if you watch this video. So I was kind of trying to read that, and it felt to me like it's just a lot of anger. So I left the Mormon church probably like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. I'm not exactly sure on the date, but I remember I was so angry, and I would talk about the church and post about the church, things that I was finding out that they were doing. They are one of the, if not the richest church in the entire world. And they, like I said, they were sued for not disclosing this to the members so that they would keep paying tithing, and they lost in court and had to pay $5 million, which is actually nothing compared to what they have. So there is going to be, I think, some different things being exposed. I also talked about how I saw like a ritual over the temple and this inverted pentagram and a circle. So there may be some ritual abuse or financial stuff that's going to continue to come out. So we'll just have to see what happens. But like I said, I think his unhinged demeanor really comes from being angry at this church that he was a member of, probably his whole life, like me, and then them turning on him and doing things in an improper way, and then him being just upset about him giving his life to his beloved religion and then finding these things out. That's my take on why he acts the way he does. So I wanted to read a song, and this song I wrote, it was around the time that I kind of left the church, and I had a lot of anger too. And it's called All the Pretty Wolves, and I'll post this song, a link to it, in the description box if you're interested in hearing it. And that's from the album called All the Pretty Wolves too, so same name. And the lyrics are, "Time moves upon her. She is no stranger. I hear the lion's roar. He's growling at my door. For all you've left for dead, you will be hunted. The birds sustain me, I will be free. And then the chorus is, wolf in sheep's clothes, you'll hunt no more. Wolf in sheep's clothes, your time has come. And then the next verse is, angels in my dreams lift me above the sea. The moon shifts color, the stars will cower. 3 days of darkness will fall upon us. I'll open my mouth, who will be called out? And then it has a little key change here, and it says, the sacrificial lamb and the tying of my hands, it's blown through. The beating of my heart and the missing of the mark, it's blown through. The humble and the meek and the turning of the cheek, it's blown through. The scholar and the fool and the stepping on the truth, it's blown through. So basically it's blown through. We're done. And we're going to start calling these people out, and the hunter will become the hunted. And like I said, I had 3 cards that had to do with hunting that flew out of a deck this week. And I heard the hunter becomes the hunted. So lots of interesting things this week. And I'm going to now read the message from the whales. October 9th is when I received this message, so a couple days ago, and 2025. Enjoy. We arise with you and within you. You feel our ancient energy, and we bring you codes of illumination. We set you in motion through the energy of water towards that which amplifies love within your soul. Some of us are departing at this time, and some of us are choosing to stay. It is the same with humanity. It is the choice of the soul. Great shifts in the currents are sending waves of energy and awakening. Make your voice heard, for as we send sonic messages to each other through our frequency of love, so can you. Welcome those who are beginning to see with new eyes, and be the lighthouse, be the buoy. Lift others who have had their worldview crash down upon them without shame or judgment. Make yourself available to those who are destabilized in the wake of revelations that are unfolding. Be the matriarch of wisdom, leading the pod to clearer waters. You are the ancient ones, the nurturers, the way-showers. You have arrived for such a time as this. We hold the sacred grids of Gaia within our magnetic field, and we surround her from this dimension and beyond. We are the navigators of sacred waters, and we are multidimensional beings. We hold you in great esteem as our bonds go back to a time long forgotten. But the memories are returning. You will continue to hear us and speak with us. You will continue to remember your own magnificence. How you once charted the waters alongside us, and how you too were navigators of the holy earth in ways that have been lost to you. But as all will be restored, this too shall be restored. For you are a divine creator, and all that was stolen from you shall be returned. You shall light up like a Christmas tree, and the holy star shall oversee all, bringing back that which has been snuffed out to full resonance with Eden. We thank you for receiving this message, and we leave you with the sounds of our souls. Soon, all that is in disharmony shall be returned to the natural, organic frequencies of Earth. We are assisting with this as you are assisting. The weaponization of sound and frequency shall be coming to an end as the Creator wills it and has spoken it. A new cycle shall begin, and a new people shall arise. The coming winter solstice makes the dawn of a new year and a new age. The golden light of the Christos shall be born anew, and it is the light that rises within humanity now. Those who choose it shall see a new world, imbued with divine communion and union. A gathering shall birth this new earth we speak of, a gathering of souls to mark a new cycle as the old collapses. November is Scorpio season, a time of death which shall bring rebirth, a time to let go in order to expand. Move with us towards this rebirth, and you shall rejoice with celebrations of the heart in joy and love. Let it be so. Thank you to the beautiful whales. I was not even calling them in, and they awakened me a couple nights ago, and I just heard there is a message from the whales, and I kept hearing like whale sounds as I was kind of in and out of sleep. And so I got up in the middle of the night and typed that message out. It's so beautiful. So before I get into the oracle card, I just wanted to thank the 2 or 3 people that donated to my channel this week. That really helps me to pay my bills. And if you wanted to make a donation, you can just go to my PayPal link. It's at the bottom of my contact page at redmountainshaman.com. And you can also learn how to book a session with me there if you'd like to have your own personal session with me. I do energy healing, readings. You can ask questions to the guides, all kinds of interesting things that I do. So here is the card that came out today, and it's called Create Space. This is a brand new deck I just got, and it's called The Secret Language of Light, Transmissions from Your Soul by Denise Jarvey. Create a space for new desires by learning how to be happy now. We all want certain things in life to change, and it is up to us, each of us, to do something about it. If you apply action from a position of truly wanting change, you will create evidence of that desire as manifestations of change. Once you notice something you would like to change, take a breath and say thank you. Recognizing what you want to change brings you more clarity on what you would like to change it to. Your job is to create the space for your dreams and desires to fill. Do this and you will begin to receive direction and wisdom. Create this space by coming into balance, meditating, focusing on the moment, or thinking of a person, animal, place, or situation that makes you smile. Feel the smile stretch through your body and relax, knowing that all you desire is on its way. You have empowered your whole being because you don't need conditions to change to feel joyous in the present. You are bathing in unconditional love. Breathe it in and enjoy how good you feel. So basically, this card is saying we don't need to wait for the outer conditions to change. We can create joy and peace in our life right now. And especially, I feel like this message from the whales is kind of directed towards at least I feel like it's kind of directed towards the light workers, the volunteers, the star seeds, the earth angels, the old souls, whatever you want to call yourself. But it's those of us who are kind of at the forefront. And we already know this stuff is going down. So when other people around us start having their worldview crash, it's important not to judge them and to be there for them and to be a soft space for them to land, I feel is what kind of the message from the whales was. And then the card kind of saying we're the ones that need to create this peace on earth, even if we aren't in a perfect situation. So as everything is collapsing, because everything that is built upon sand, it's not a solid foundation, it has to go so we can rebuild with integrity. So I hope something today resonated with you guys. And next week, my video may be a day or two late because I have some family stuff going on. So remember, if you don't see me right on Sunday, I'll just hang in there. I'll be there probably Monday or Tuesday. So I hope you guys have a great week. And I'm sending you all love, and hopefully you can all stay in this vibration of peace, and with your meditation, bring in your own bliss. And as we experience this destabilization that we're having right now. So take care. Sending you all love.